Good evening. Today's date is November 28th. This is Thanksgiving Eve, 2024. I just broke away from my Thanksgiving festivities. My wife has a lot of people in the house, and I figured this is my only escape. But I wanted to bring something important to your attention. While I was getting ready for the festivities today, I was listening to a podcast. And if you'll bear with me, there's some information I need to give you. I'm also going to put the link for this particular individual who has a podcast of her own in the comments. She was initially with, I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Midas Touch Network on YouTube. You have a lot of heavy hitters as far as podcasts, informational podcasts. These guys, some of them are lawyers. And those are the people I usually listen to in order to get my information. Their political analysis is pretty spot on. Legal AF is one of them as well, and I think sometimes they join with other people in order to cross-reference various things. And I found in the past for them to be very effective. Now, this lady was also somebody that coordinated with them as well until just recently. I'll let you explain to her. I'll let her explain to you in her podcast. I'm going to send you to her site, and it would be the very last one that she had done about 5 days ago, and it deals with where she's talking with one of the people who signed on to that letter, and I'm going to get his name for you in a second. It's a Duncan Buell. I guess he's a professor, scientist, or something like that, and she has an in-depth discussion as to his take on things. Now, bear with me because it goes back and forth. Just when you think you know, you don't. And there's some stuff you may not want to hear, then you want to hear. So bring it all the way to the end. She explains, number one, who she is. She explains who he is, and she has several critical questions that she asks him as far as analysis is concerned and where he stands on it. Now, nothing's really, from what I can see, and I've listened to the whole thing, nothing's really clear. Nothing's really black and white. The thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is that a lot of certification for these states have already come and gone. Now, she made this podcast about 5 days ago, and she was talking about one of the states in particular, and I forget which one that was, and you need to look up when the certification needs to be done for each state. But she had mentioned that it was, I think it was Michigan, and don't quote me on that, but I think it was. Listen to the podcast and you'll find out. But anyway, that the last day was the 27th, which was yesterday. So listening to this, remember it's 5 days old at least, 6 days old, when she talks about this stuff. Now, is that to say that if it goes beyond this time frame, that that nothing will be able to be done? I don't know. I have no idea. But as far as the certification of the vote for each state, they have a certain time frame in which they do it in. And I think when we first talked about this, that's what we talked about. That's what was warned about, that there wasn't a whole lot of time, prior to that happening. So I'm not sure what happens beyond this. I don't know if it goes all the way up to the certification and then it's up to the vice president to do it. I don't even know if they paid attention to any of the letters that were sent to them or whether they're just going to just kind of let it go. I have no idea. So that's all I can tell you for now. But I'm just giving you my analysis on what to expect from the podcast. Again, take everything with a grain of salt. Listen, try to parse, the information that you need from it. But this individual, I think she's an up and coming star. Now, the reason why I do things a certain way and why I am the way I am is because I'm not motivated by money. I'm not motivated by envy. I'm not motivated by popularity. My motivation is simply get the word out. And what she had told me up at the Midas Touch Network is they didn't really want to talk about this because it would put them into some type of, awkward position. So she was working with them, but then she decided to cut off on her own at the behest of her viewers so she can speak her mind. Now, I was kind of confused because usually the Midas Touch Network and Legal AF, these guys are straight shooters. And they claim to be, we're not the media, we'll tell you like it is. But even they were a little bit hesitant about putting out this information in fear that they might look like conspiracy theorists and it might tarnish their reputation. Now, she went ahead and decided she was going to go ahead and break off from them and open her own podcast, and I applauded for that. I was her, I think, 200th and something subscriber. But as I said, go on, listen to what she has to say. I think she's a straight shooter. I think she speaks straight from the hip, and I think that she is interested in getting the word out, regardless of the ramifications. That's why from what I hear and the videos that I've seen that she's done, hey, she's got my vote. So again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't condone one way or the other, as you know, in my previous videos. But I thought it was important enough to come to you on Thanksgiving Eve in the middle of my party to let you know this, because it was on my mind and I wanted to get it out while it was fresh. Well, good enough. As I said, I'll put her information for her link in YouTube for her channel. And again, it's going to be the very first one. Listen to it all the way through. It's about an hour long. So if you ain't got the time, don't go into it. But if you got a little bit of time and you're serious about listening, chime in. And she's got some other ones prior to that too, which you might be interested in hearing. I haven't listened to them yet, but I'm going to probably before the night's over. Again, thanks a lot. Happy Thanksgiving, and I'll catch you guys most likely tomorrow. Thanks.